in terms of the qualities I'm looking for a president of the United States to have, self-control would be on the list. But in terms of one thing he's announced, so he's all over the place, except he will announce cutting Social Security.
Cutting taxes?
Yeah.
No. He doesn't.
Forgive me.
But you were
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
You were right. But what he has actually stated publicly is he wants to get rid of federal taxes on Social Security.
Yeah.
And
what is it actually going to do?
What it's actually going to do is number one, it is going to destroy Social Security because those taxes are extraordinarily important for the trust fund. You need that flow of money. Right now, the Social Security is in danger of running out of money, the trustees say, in 2033. And if Trump actually were to cut the Social Security taxes out, that would advance the time of Social Security running out of money.
And importantly, who does it hurt and who does it benefit?
Well, this particular plan, in the short term, benefits mostly high-income Social Security beneficiaries. But over the long term, it would destroy Social Security. Now, Heather, this is something the Republicans have been trying to do and wanting to do for years because Social Security is the most popular program in the entire federal government. Franklin D. Roosevelt put it into effect in 1935, and a lot of people then said to him, well, why should people have individual accounts? And this is all kind of complicated. And he said, no, if everybody has an individual Social Security account and they contribute into that account, they feel that they are owed it. And we will never see this program ended. And he was right, except for Donald Trump. He didn't anticipate that Trump would take away Social Security taxes.
And the MAGA Republicans would salute him and follow his orders.
So this is dangerous. The easy response, and what the Democrats have already proposed, is you take away the cap on income that is subject to the Social Security tax. And right now that cap this year is about 100, but anybody who earns any more than that is excused from paying Social Security taxes. So it's a very regressive tax overall. Take the cap off, or maybe set the cap so that it starts at $250,000.
That's it.
Or $400,000.
I think it's more politically feasible. We've talked about this.
Let's
move the cap up.
Just do that, and you'll save Social Security, and the rich will pay their fair share. That's why Social Security is in trouble.
But instead, so he's proposing this, this tax cut. He claims it's a tax cut, but it's going to hurt the poorest seniors. 25% of their income is going to be cut, and the richest are going to benefit from it. I mean, it's a classic, and he's doing, his spin, where he says, "You're welcome, everyone." And it's not everyone.
Well, he believes that the American public is incredibly gullible, and unfortunately, people are gullible to the extent that some people say, "Well, yes, take away Social Security taxes," but it's just like his 2017 tax cut, which was trickle-down nonsense. Nothing trickled down. He guaranteed $4,000 would trickle down to everybody. Everybody would have $4,000, and nobody got $4,000. Did you?
No, I didn't. But also, I like that tweet you once did where it said trickle-down economics, and then it took the S off, and then the C, and then it went all the way down, and it stopped with trick. That's
exactly
what happened.
It is a trick.
But a $1.6 trillion cut. I mean, this is ugly. But hopefully people realize it and decide maybe he's not the president for me after all.
Well, I think that maybe more and more people are realizing that. I hope so. And he doesn't deal in policy. I mean, the interesting thing...
You don't say.
He's not interested in policy. He doesn't want to talk about policy. But when he does come up with policies, they are usually 180 degrees wrong. They reward the rich, the big corporations, and they penalize the people who are average working people or the poor.
We could talk about this for days. His tariffs that he's talking about. I mean, the few things he has spoken about.
The tariffs are an interesting example because he says, let's charge foreigners and foreign countries for selling their goods in the United States, without even understanding that a tariff is paid by people who buy the goods.
Right.
People here in the United States, you put up tariffs, 30, 40, 50, wants to go 100%. What happens? Everything becomes more costly. That it's not only hard and difficult and harmful for consumers in the United States, but it also will aggravate inflation.
Right. So she's going to come after this at multiple levels.
A lot of it has to do with giving more resources to the Federal Trade Commission to go after these monopolies, and more resources to the Antitrust Division of the Justice Department to get more resources. Speaking of that, Kroger and Albertsons. Now,
This was a goodie. I know what you're going to say.
They wanted two of the biggest grocery chains in America. They wanted to merge. They are actively trying to merge, and the government is saying, no, you can't merge. And what did Kroger say? Kroger said, well, I'll tell you what, we will reduce our prices by $1 billion if you allow us to merge.
Come on. It's like we can't lower our prices. I mean, we could lower our prices.
No, we can't really,
but
we
only
could.
if you give us a little more power. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous to see this in a news article.
But here's a gross admission by Kroger that they actually could reduce prices by $1 billion.
Yep.
I mean, this. If you wanted evidence that there is not enough competition in groceries, here it is.
Yeah. Or that power is skewed and they have it.
And pricing power.
Yeah.
In fact, if you look across the economy, Heather, the reason you have record levels of profits across the economy is not your mom and pop stores. It's because big companies have concentrated more and more of their power. They are merging, they are growing. One of the biggest reasons for mergers now is pricing power.
Of course.
To
and
keep prices up.
Right. I'm sure you saw Mars is trying to purchase Kellanova for something like $38 billion. And that would be the biggest merger of the year. I mean, we're talking, they've already merged. You've read the stats. And then there's more happening.
Yeah. And when you see, and that's why it is so important to attack these monopolies. It's disguised. People don't know about monopoly power because you don't see it behind all of these individual brand names. You think, there are dozens of brands on my supermarket shelves.
Yeah.
But it turns out that behind the brands, you have just 3 or 4 companies.
Right.
And they are trying to merge.